I'm just sitting here and, some of the activations that I've been experiencing are mostly psychological. Kundalini hasn't really shown me anything that is anything other than my own emotional development. And that might be because of how much I poured myself into what I wanted to know about myself without the ability to actually change or shift it. One of the pains of my life was actually not knowing that I was in pain or how to even change it. And what I learned in the last 6 months was that I lost the ability and never had the ability to see myself in a way where I could change and grow and notice different parts of myself. And there are different traumas that I experienced as a child where I think that created that. It's very important for people to know that if you have a child, you can never yell at them. Okay, it's very dangerous to yell at a child. Very dangerous. You can create immense trauma and pain to yell at a child. And if you scream at a child, depending on the energy around your yelling, it can be so bad that it can fuck up their ability to have a good relationship for the rest of their lives, which is what happened to me. And I also experienced abuse. And the abuse I had was someone from a family friend. And this person abused me in ways that I don't really know about. I remember things that are so horrific, I am reluctant to share more online. And it's characteristic of a deep, like Sado, I don't know how you would call it or characterize it, abuse of children. And the things that I saw, I blacked out for. I remember I was upstairs in this home, in this cabin with my sister, and we were lying down in a bed. I was probably maybe about, she was probably no more than 3. So I was probably like 7 or 8, I think. And this woman came upstairs and revved a chainsaw and then revved it next to my face. And I remember that. And then I remember her like maybe even carving something up in front of us. And that experience, what Kundalini showed me, basically destroyed my ability to protect my sister. Like my whole life I was wondering like, why don't I have any protective feelings around my sister? And it's because they were completely destroyed. I felt like I needed to protect her, and instantly it was taken from me because you're so launched out of your body in fear that you lose all association with what you're doing. And so it's really important for people to realize that that might be a very, very extreme example, but I forgot that memory most of my life, and yet the emotional imprint was there, and I couldn't psychologically understand what was going on. And I didn't really, you end up going through relationships only to then realize that, you don't really think that there's a problem, you blame other people, or you don't see the thing that's missing because it's just how you are, it's how you were formed. Like my psychology was still being developed. And so, when I post the way I do on social media, a lot of that is guided. This is intuitively guided by God. And I haven't been reluctant about sharing about the gifts that I've received from my experiences and my time in meditation. I spent several years writing almost constantly and researching and purging my system and researching different types and grokking different types of healing techniques. And what I came to learn was that there are some things that are better than other things. And then over time, I started to refine my own process. And I feel it's probably the best that is available to us as humans because it's so refined and it's so powerful. I was able to do about decades or a lifetime worth of healing in about 8 months. And that's what's possible for us. And so if you combine that with the ability to have some type of institute where people are going through shifts in Kundalini, because what will happen is that between 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times, your body is going to go through an immense purge, where for about 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to be eating almost nothing, and you're going to be experiencing massive pain in your body. And that's what you have to go through in order to purge and in order for your body to reformat. And I went through that experience, and it was harrowing for me because I have a heart condition that basically puts me in a very dangerous state when that happened. And so that created a situation where I had to almost isolate myself completely. I couldn't listen to anything, I couldn't watch anything, I couldn't speak, I couldn't read anything. I could barely fucking move for this period of time, basically sitting with immense pain. And I had to watch my thinking and my sexual energy. I didn't jerk off for a year. I could barely even think a sexual thought. I had to let them go completely because my body and my heart couldn't handle it. That's how delicate my situation was when I wasn't having any food at that period of time. However, Kundalini has helped my situation, and I feel that getting a job right now is a very good thing for me. Not only that, it's very important for me to do that so I can live, because my situation is extremely delicate. I've been able to live off food stamps. I've been able to live off a little bit of income that I got from family, and that's it. Small donations. And then I was able to get a credit card from my bank that basically gifted me one, and I was able to use that now because I know I got a job, and so I'm really hoping that the job works out. We haven't talked about pay, and I need to make sure that I'm getting paid, compensated, commensurate with my experience and my age. I'm not 20 years old walking in to be a dishwasher. Almost 40. I've worked in a lot of different restaurants, and let's face it, I bring a lot to the table, and I'm sure other people feel that way too. And I look forward to working in a restaurant again because it's been a long time. But that's not necessarily my end goal. I'd love to work there and then, in a way, get donations and teach. I've seen that a lot of people around the valley have changed. People were really angry with me for a time, and it's like, you changed your lives. You saw what came up within you, and you healed it because you knew how to. And then I'm getting energies like, oh, I would have found this anyways. Like, it's not a big deal. It's like, dude, it took me it took me a science degree, several years of healing work and research on the ocean, and then another several years of research on the fucking internet and in books and study, hold up completely for about 10 to 15 hours a day. That's all I fucking did without any fucking social life. So shut the fuck up, as if you would learn it yourself. You motherfucking wouldn't. Try finding it online. You won't be able to. I could sell my fucking shit for $1 billion to Elon Musk and it wouldn't be enough. If he knew what I had, he'd give me his fucking company. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you think I'm embellishing. There are people who know that I'm not.